We're all about class when it comes to pens, and we like to let it show. Welcome to Fountain Pen Radio, presented by FPGeeks.com. And now for your fountain pen enthusiast hosts, here's Eric and Dan. Gentlemen.
This is Fountain Pen Geeks Podcast, episode number 27 for Tuesday, June 5th, 2012. We are recording live on Sunday, June 3rd. For our listeners in the United Kingdom, God save the Queen. Welcome to Fountain Pen Radio. Our guest this week is the one, and thankfully only, Mr. Brian Gray. My name is Eric.
I'm Dan.
How you doing, Mr. Smith?
Oh, I'm a little groggy right now. I just woke up from a 2-hour nap, forgive me.
That's what Sundays are for. How are you, Mr. Gray?
Very good. How are you guys doing? Thanks again for having me in.
We've missed you terribly. We haven't seen you in quite some time.
That's true. I'm glad that you're having me back.
You know, I have something to tell you that I keep forgetting. I'm going to go off script here for a moment. I keep forgetting to tell you this when we're talking on the phone or via email. It's about your Writing Instruments Daily.
Yes.
No, I just love that publication. Are we going to call it a publication?
If you'd like to. It's basically like a tweet-based newspaper.
And you're like my filter for the internet. You find a whole bunch of interesting things, and every day I get this publication to read called Writing Instruments Daily. How do people sign up for that?
Essentially what that is, and if you want, we can put a link up to that. It's a tweet-based newspaper, so I set up a list of people that do excellent fountain pen tweets, or things that are related to fountain pens. And then this newspaper will automatically generate content based on the people that I assign to a list. So I will create a Twitter list or a Twitter group, and those people will be contributors to this newspaper. And whenever something interesting comes up for fountain pens and they tweet it, it automatically gets populated to that newspaper. So it's kind of like a one-stop shopping for all things that might be going over the Twitter sphere, if that's a word.
It is now.
All in one spot.
Well, that must be why I like it so much. Dan, do you read it? You ever seen it?
Yeah, I've checked it out a couple times. Usually, I guess, when we're featured on there.
Well, especially when we get that, the front page.
but no, it's a very cool little thing going on.
Yeah, and
there.
You say it happens automatically, but you must put you had to put effort into it at some point to get everything working.
Well, of course. I mean, I got it started. I've got a lot of followers, a lot of people that subscribe. And then essentially what I do, which is really nice, essentially what I do is every evening at 8 p.m. when it populates, I go through and I just make sure that everything is fountain pen related. There's no spam. There's no content that I wouldn't want on it. And that's about it. I mean, I can take an article and make it a feature, or get rid of an article. But generally, it's kind of maintenance free to an extent. I can tell you this: I don't put an hour into it every day. How's that?
Well, that's good for you and good for the rest of us, because I really, really enjoy its content, and I have been meaning forever to tell you that. So seeing you right now just reminded me of that. Mr. Smith, shall we talk about pen shows? Let's talk about pen shows, because go ahead.
Today is the 9th annual Triangle Pen Show is wrapping up.
Right.
And the 4th day of the show. You go ahead.
I called Brian Anderson last night, who is, of course, he and Lisa are at the show. I called him via Skype, and I recorded the conversation. If you guys would like to hear it, see it, whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay, I'll hit play now, and then we're going to go. Our video will be gone, but my video with Brian will be there. This is new for us. We'll give it a try.
All right.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
Good. Very good. Very good.
So you're at the show.
Anybody
hear the video? I mean the Raleigh show.
No.
Yes.
Which I guess most people call the Triangle Show.
We're
always
in
a risk.
triangle.
All
right.
All right. We are speaking on Saturday night, so you've been... Scratch that video. He was having a great time. He had 3 glasses of wine just before the pen auction, and walked away with...
Well, we're going to have to post that video at some point.
Well, yeah, it works for me. I wasn't able to try it live, so I'm sorry about that. But anyway, it was a 4-minute conversation where he brought me up to date on the pen show. The pen show on Friday and Saturday, because we spoke Saturday night, was doing quite well. Like I say, he has a strict rule of not drinking before a pen auction. But when I asked him about that, he said the problem is that the host hotel, has a 2-hour happy hour, and so it's like necessary. He had 3 glasses of wine before the auction, and actually walked away with 3 pens when he was only planning to walk away with 1. But they were apparently all great deals. He said that all the pricing was way, way low. One of the pens he purchased was on the auction. All the proceeds were going to Pen Collectors of America, which of course his wife is the president of, and it was at $85. He bid it to $85 because he wanted to up the bid, and no one bid higher. Maybe they were afraid to. Ooh, Brian's bidding on it. We better not. But that's how I got my pen at Chicago. You guys were both there. I said no, it has to go higher than 100, so I bid 100 and. It's here in my desk drawer. Anyway, that show's wrapped up. Brian and Lisa are on the road right now, driving back home after the show. Apparently, it's a 15, 16-hour drive. They're going to go straight through.
Yeah.
It's a long one for them. And just so you guys know, my in-laws were over for dinner just a couple hours ago, and I did have I did have 2 margaritas and 1 beer. So if I'm extra squirrely tonight,
actually, you're always so squirrely. We haven't noticed yet.
I said extra squirrely.
Okay, let's just move on.
So the next pen show in June that's on our schedule is the Midland Pinchot in Litchfield, UK. Hopefully we can, get in contact with someone over there, Grand My Pens, or, maybe Sarge Minhas to give us a show report. But other than that, I say we head over to the poll and check out what the results were there.
Let's see, the poll question the poll that is ending, the question was, what percentage of your fountain pen collection could use some sort of repair, service, nib work, or tuning? 55% of the voters answered 1 to 20%. So that was lower than I thought. I mean, a larger majority than I thought had low percentage of pens that needed some work, because I put 21 to 40% for me.
And that was my response as well.
And 15% of people said 100%. No. And they said 0. 15% said 0. None of their pens need work, and 14 people voted that every single one of their pens needs work. And I think that was Brian Gray.
What did I vote?
Have another drink, right?
He doesn't even know.
I was trying to figure out. I'm just trying to say that, good thing that this is where it is. Otherwise, Richard Binder, Ron Zorn, Aaron Zvabik, they wouldn't be in business.
Richard Binder doesn't do this anymore.
Well, then.
He will for a while, but he's not taken in anymore.
He's stopped accepting. And
it's interesting.
Last week, I think, I forget the question already, but I remember we had 499 respondents, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
This week we had 355. I think it's because you had to do math. Because, it required a little work. Plus you had to count all your pens and go through them. Where are we going from here, Mr. Smith? Next poll question I don't have yet, so I can't announce that.
That's fine.
We're going to the news. And
yeah, we're going to jump straight into the news, and we got quite a bit of good stuff to cover this week.
I'm going to go off script again.
Uh-oh.
The outline that we have for the show, when I looked at it this morning, had an item on there that isn't there anymore. And
why are you bringing this up?
I have to. Otherwise, I would not do this to you. You know I wouldn't. You shouldn't be embarrassed about having posted this. Can you even say the name of this pen? These are the Sailor...
I can't remember.
Fude Mannen. They're calligraphic type pens. And I have to bring it up because you posted it. Yeah, and don't be embarrassed. You thought it was a new pen, but it was new for a retailer somewhere in the UK. And Pinky's brain reached his hand out from Deutschland and said, wait a minute, they've been available for quite some time. And then someone else posted that they're available at Jet Pens, and I got both of them. So, see, this is why I have to bring it up. Otherwise, I would never do this.
Right.
And I've played with them both a bit. They have the nibs that are angled, one at 40 degrees and one at 55 degrees, the tips of the nibs. Mm-hmm. They take some getting used to, but they are fun. That's all I wanted to say. They're highly recommended. Where would you like to go from here, Mr. Smith? I won't go off script again.
That's all right. Let's take a look at the new Delta Momo. Now, you probably remember we talked a little bit about this one a few weeks ago, but this is a slightly different design. It's still made from celluloid, carbon fiber, and titanium, but it's made of black celluloid instead of Delta's signature orange color. And boy, does it look
This
good.
is to me, this is the nicer of the two versions.
I almost think so too. And this one is very limited. Only 20 pins are going to be made, and the MSRP has jumped a bit to $11.95. I think actual street price is around $700-800.
Oh no! Don't tell me
I can't
that.
say for certain.
I have to make a phone call tomorrow. Are you kidding me? That thing is beautiful.
Is this exclusive to Bryant over at Pen Time, or is this a?
It is. Yeah, it's a Pin Time exclusive.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
or a Chatterley Pins exclusive.
I like that kind of what do you want to call it? Kind of like a semi-hood that's creeping up over the back of the nib.
It's. I don't call it semi-hooded. It's like hemi-hooded or something. It's even smaller than a semi.
I mean,
that's
it's
a really
cool
sharp-looking pen.
Yeah.
We saw the orange one in Chicago. It's a very neat design. I just thought the nib was too small. I think it's like a number 5 nib in there.
Huh.
Well, if you want me to pick on it, this is...
It just looks way too small for that pen.
You know, when there's a pen that I love and I don't really want to spend the money on it, I have to find at least one little thing I can pick on about the pen.
Right.
And it is the nib on this one. It looks a little too small. And the threads on the back where you would post it,
right?
Yeah.
They kind of distract me for some reason. What's your pen, Brian? I'm going to give you a little advertising here. Whether you have a thread on the end of the pen, but it's a single thread.
The gem.
Oh, the gem. I've never heard of that gem. I think you mean the Del Coronado.
Well, I'm sorry. I have two versions that do that. The Del Coronado, and then also the gem is one that I really don't advertise. It's just people see it on my custom page, and then I make them for them. It's not something that I'm really gone into production with. Anyways, yes, the one you're thinking of is the Del Coronado.
Right, it has a single thread that almost looks just like a decorative band. It doesn't
Correct.
really look like a thread. They should have done that. So, when I call for the pricing, I'll tell Brian. Okay.
Well, I hate to critique another pen designer, but
No,
I
you don't.
agree with you on that, my friend.
Well, you want to critique something? Let's critique the next one.
Okay.
Oh, what are you going to critique about the Nakiya Milky Way? My goodness.
the nib.
You remember last week when I asked for $1,600 to buy a Nakaya? Scratch that. Give me the $1,200 for this pen because I think this is absolutely gorgeous. This is based on an ebonite piccolo, and it uses the Raiden technique, and so that's lacquered abalone shell. And I just think this is stunning. I love it.
Was it your wife that just whispered abalone in the background? Tell her we all heard her.
I don't know. I didn't hear her.
And also, not to be a nitpick, but is it also Rodden or Raiden? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Ernest says
no idea.
Rodden, and since he's the only one I ever talked to about this stuff,
Yeah.
I don't know that. According to Ernest, it would be Rodden.
If Ernest says Rodden, I'm going to say Rodden.
I have a reputation for butchering things, so I can't just walk away from that.
No, you say Raiden. You
I
say
do.
Raiden, I say Rodden. We'll get to lots of fun things to pronounce here in a little while. It's a beautiful pen, isn't it? And $1,200,
I don't think I've seen too many Rodden pens. I don't know which way I'm saying it. Rodden. I'll just say Rodden. I don't think I've seen too many in this price range. I'd love to get Ernest's take on this. I think this is a gorgeous pen.
Well, what's the vanishing point?
It's Rodden.
Yeah.
It runs about $250 though.
It doesn't have this much
There's got to
work.
be something different about. Yeah.
Well, it's not ebonite, and this has a lot more. Every single little piece of mother of pearl there is a tiny little thing applied by hand. This takes a lot of time. I can't even guess at how much time, but every single piece is applied by hand and then urushi'd over.
Do you guys want to see a detail that probably only a pen maker would see on this that I'll make you aware of that is actually very cool, and owners of Nakaya pens should be proud of this. If you're on your website, look at the article, FPGeeks.com, and look at the article. The photograph that shows the nib and the section and the barrel threads. Look at the barrel thread where it ends. Okay, do you see how the barrel thread ends abruptly? It ends like at a stop right there. That's one way that you can tell that those threads were cut manually on a manual lathe and not done on a numerically controlled lathe or a computer-controlled lathe. Typically, threads cut on a computer-controlled lathe will get shallower, and then just scoop out. That, you can see how it ends abruptly on one spot.
And at the same depth, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes. That is a telltale sign that pen was made on a manual lathe with no, computer or numerically controlled machines doing it.
I'm reaching for an Edison pen right this minute.
Yeah. Depends on which one you're looking at too. Some of those will have that, and
Well,
some
I'll
will
look
not.
at my custom pearl of the black and red ebonite, and I'm sure I know what the answer is. And since everybody has now gone to the website to look at those threads, there's a little embellishment above the threads, another piece of mother of pearl in sort of an elongated diamond shape that I'm not too fond of. I don't know.
Well, now that piece is optional.
Oh, good.
So
good. So is
that
is
was
the pen
actually,
cheaper if I don't
think-
want it?
I think by about $30 or $40.
Oh, is that all?
Well, what were you expecting?
Oh, $200 or $300?
Oh, jeez.
Not going to happen, huh? Hell, a beautiful
All right,
pen.
so this next one, the Anoto Aviator, I think this is a pretty cool looking pen.
I like the plane.
Yeah, well, it's based on R.J. Mitchell's design for the Supermarine S6B plane. I mean, you can see it in the background there in the picture. It's made from solid sterling silver with a gold-plated clip. It has a number 7 size nib. It's available in fine, medium, broad, and custom grinds, of course. And unfortunately, a cartridge converter filler. It is 136 millimeters long and weighs 95 grams. Now, to put that into perspective, an Aurora 88 piston filler is 27 grams.
This is a heavy
Now, there's
pen.
something else here that I'll point out. As a pen maker, as I look at this article, there's a telltale sign here. When you look at that number 95 and then GRAMS right after it, that's a telltale sign this is one heavy hell of a pen.
Yeah, well,
Sorry, I'm trying to be a smartass.
Apparently so. We weren't even going to call you on the carpet for that one. Oh, no. How many
Thank you.
margaritas did he have?
So the Mont Blanc 149, it weighs 29 grams. And I couldn't actually find a non-limited edition pen that everybody would know of that weighs this much. I mean, there is one that Pelican makes, one that Omos makes, but they're all solid metal pens of some type that weigh this much. I mean, this pen would have to be ridiculously heavy at 95 grams. It is limited to 100 pieces, and it sells for $22.50. So it's a little bit spendy too, but solid sterling silver.
Solid sterling silver. Well, it's a beautiful pen. If I had the 2250, I'd spend it probably on something else. 95 grams. I mean, can you imagine
sounds
doing
like I'm buying
the
drugs.
the 21-minute road test with that pen?
It'd be heavy. I would like to see him make this into like a regular line and do it out of a resin or something lighter and more affordable. I think would look really cool.
Yes, I'm still waiting to get my first Onoto pen. This won't be it, unfortunately.
No, I don't think so.
But there's a nice sailor on the horizon.
Just imagine how muscular your right hand would get versus your left hand by using this pen. It'd be like Popeye on one arm and olive oil on the left arm.
All right, I don't think we want to go down this road.
That's not what I meant, my friend.
I'm sure it's not.
No, of course not.
Sailor, they do a lot of, teaming up with department stores, and for this one, the Sakura Edo Progear limited edition, they're teaming up with the Mitsukoshi department store, and this is going to be limited to 100 pens. It's based off the Progear, and it is a cartridge converter, but it does have the Sailor 21 karat gold nib, and it sells for 23,000 yen, which is about $290.
And can we get him in the States? Or do we have to go to Japan?
Probably not. Thanks to Rocky for the translation on this. He did note that Mitsukoshi probably won't ship to the U.S., so if you really wanted it, you'd probably have to know someone in Japan to ship it to you.
Oh.
But
Well, I guess there's only 100 pens. They don't really have to go outside of Japan. They're probably already sold.
probably. But the neat thing about this is I don't find the pink offensive.
No, it's
Like-
as far as pink pens are concerned, this is a nice pink pen.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad at all.
And I've always I don't have a Sailor either. It's just like the Onoto. I'm still waiting for my first Sailor, but I really like their nibs because it has the anchor on it, and this particular pen even has the anchor medallion at the top of the pen.
It does.
It's a cool looking pen.
It's nice. I mean, for a pink pen.
For a pink pen, it's really. What's the pen maker say? You've been awfully quiet through this. The telltale sign.
No, I don't know. Maybe Mary Kay Cosmetics should be teaming up with these guys instead. You're pushing me for jokes
you're
now. I have
absolutely
nothing.
right. That does look like a Mary Kay pen, doesn't it? Speaking of Rocky, did you say Rocky did the translation for this?
He did.
And he had a birthday last week. I think I mentioned it in last podcast, too. So
yes, he did have a
I'll
birthday.
just say it again. He had a birthday last week, and he gave us the present. Thank you very much for the translation. And then, the big news of the week.
Oh, yeah. You ain't kidding. FPN went down, and, the whole fountain pen world just freaking flipped out, man.
Well, it did seem like there was a little bit of confusion. I don't know that there was any panic. But I posted the don't panic just so that nobody would panic, and we had a lot of fun over at FPGeeks with all
we had a
the
lot
refugees
of fun.
They were calling themselves. They came over and they started. Was it not called the FPN Lifeboat or something? A forum thread? Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was all explained that once everything came back online, it was a technical glitch with regard to FPN's automated system for hosting payments. And I think that's techno mumbo jumbo for we forgot to make the payment. The admin was unavailable during that time, which is why it lasted 30 hours, their downtime. As soon as apparently it took 30 seconds to fix, and no data was lost. People were concerned that there had been some sort of a database crash or something like that. It was just an oversight of some sort on somebody's part. And personally, I'm very glad, of course. The amount of data that is stored at FPN is, I don't know, it's like our Wikipedia. If all that data was gone, that would be a disaster for our community. So I never had any doubt that it wasn't coming back. I was having a little fun with it, of course, but I never doubted it would.
Well, they'd been running real good for about 2 years. I mean, this was about due to happen, but
yeah, things happen.
I kid. No, we had some good comments. It was going real fine, and then we had some Norma person that I've never seen before. They had to stroke the fire, and
but that's
I
good.
was just sitting back with my
a little
popcorn,
controversy is a good thing.
I don't know. Some of these people,
Hard to keep track of them.
Hard to keep
I
track
know
of
it.
But I'm glad they're back. I'm glad everything is getting back to normal. And
everything's good
for
now.
For everyone that came and visited FP Geeks, thank you. It was a pleasure. Please stop by again. Now let's talk about Conway Stewart, shall we?
Yeah, they have created an incredibly beautiful online brochure that you can check out all their pins, get a little bit of history, just find out a lot of information about them. It's done very elegantly. I was actually quite surprised. And they also have a PDF that you can download, to take, to that next meeting you have, or, if you're going to be somewhere without internet access and you just have to get a pin fix. I think this is the way to do it.
And it's really, really well done. And it sort of reminded me of those Italian pen magazines that are posted from time to time that the name escapes me.
Oh, Pen of Vintage?
Yeah, exactly. It's just eye candy. It's very nice eye candy. And one of the things I like about it is that you don't have to download an app to have it.
Exactly. That's so nice.
Apps are nice for some things, but you don't need an app for every little thing in life. Mr. Gray is trying to say something, I believe.
Weren't you singing the praises of that Mont Blanc app that you loved so much?
Yes, and I'll still sing it.
Okay.
I'll still sing them.
All right.
But everything in life doesn't have to be an app. I mean...
Yeah, I can't get that app on my HP WebOS tablet, but I can pull this up in the web browser and view it just fine.
And
yeah, this is really cool.
It's beautiful. They did a nice job.
So... Thank you, Conway Stewart.
So anything we can do to electronically give me eye candy is wonderful.
So then I was doing a little shopping this week, and I was looking for pen holders. Not something I'd really researched before. And the reason for this is because I have two pens now that always sit on my desk. And one of them is the Edison pen that we made at Camp Edison, that the big green one I haven't shown off much. And then also a dip pen. And so I wanted a way to have it sit nicely on my desk, but, be at the ready. And so I was looking at a bunch of pen holders. And, these from Jazz It Up Jewelry in the UK, they make these pin holders made from nuts and bolts and chains, and they're kind of welded together. And you see this one here. This guy's sitting at a desk, and it'll hold 4 pins. There's one of a guy golfing, and his bag holds the pins. I mean, it's just really cool stuff. And they go for around 30 pounds. Not too bad. I don't know what shipping would be. But then I also saw a whole bunch. There's this one guy. He makes, oh my gosh, he has 38 different designs, and they range from $24 to $250. And I mean, there was one. It's a butterfly where it holds 3 or 4 pins down the back of its wings. There's one that's a snake that like coils up the pin. It's very cool stuff. And then my favorite was probably by this guy Jorge Diego. He makes these revolver cylinders that would go on a handgun, like a 6-shooter, and they're 3.5 inches tall by 3 inches in diameter, and they hold 6, pen or pencils or whatever you want to put in there. And I think they just look smoking cool.
They are pretty cool. They are very cool, and I thought those would be your favorites.
Yeah, I really
Although
like
I was
them.
kind of thinking, you're a mechanical engineer, you probably also like the ones that are made from nuts and bolts and into little figures.
I like all kinds of that stuff. There are people that just make sculptures in that style, and I love seeing that stuff. So I would, I'll just buy a couple, have one at work and have one at home.
Which ones are you going to get?
Those things are huge.
I don't know which one I'll actually get. I've still got
what you got to do. What you got to do? Those things look so huge. Get one of those. Get 6 of those Onoto pens and see if your desk will still stand.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
See if you can pick it up. Now, I went to the Jazz It Up Jewelry website in the UK, the ones that are making the nuts and bolts pen holders, and I found something that I liked. It was a phone.
A phone?
Yes. Now, this is obviously only going to work for people who are watching the video portion of this podcast, but it sort of looks like an old-fashioned dial phone, but the dial, of course, is replaced with buttons, but they're in a circular format like that. The only thing you see is the Union Jack, the flag of the United Kingdom.
Right.
And I thought, well, this is a good thing to have on. You only use this when you're calling Buckingham Palace. It's only 50
How
pounds.
much is that
50
thing?
pounds.
Only 50
It's
pounds.
only 50 pounds.
All right, I'll pass.
You'll pass.
For $8 though, I like that Bazooka guy. That guy's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I could see a pen sticking in that. I wonder what the diameter is though, because it looks like there's a little uniball pen going in there, and it doesn't look like it's going to take a thicker pen. Maybe it's just better for like ballpoints or something.
51, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting.
I don't know, I kind of like the
neat.
butterfly because I think it held the most pens. Oh, except for those revolver things. That's true.
Yeah.
They're good things. The pen holders are very difficult to find.
They are. And so I found a lot of different designs, and I'm going to have another post coming up this week with a few more with a slightly different design take. I think a lot of people will like them.
Cool. Make me spend money.
That's cool. That was a good article, Dan.
Thank you.
Yep.
And so let's head over and take a look at some inks. Diamine have added 5 new colors to their lineup to make a total of 100 different inks available. The 5 new ones are Grape, Ochre, Peach Haze, Sargasso Sea, and Misty Blue. And Diamine, they come in 80 milliliter bottles, and they're only $12.75.
It's a great
I didn't
value.
realize that the bottles were so big.
The bottles aren't so big, but the volume is immense.
Well, yeah, right. That's what I meant. I thought they were only 50 milliliter bottles.
Yeah, they kind of look like they shouldn't hold 80. But you have at least one bottle, right?
Yes,
They're
I do.
filled up to the top of that bottle. I'm always very careful with those bottles when they're brand new. And great ink. I really, really, really like their ink.
Yeah, I was really taken by Peach Haze. I think that orange just, well, like in the post, I said it looks delicious. And, we had a really cool forum member, Daniel Coffey. He posted some reviews.
Now, he was a refugee from FPN.
He was. He went ahead and posted a couple reviews of these inks before they were even released. And the ones that he posted were of Ochre and Sargasso Sea. And his review actually makes me really want the Ochre because the brown it shades so wonderfully. I haven't seen that in the ink in a while. And
yeah, the ochre was the one.
The
ochre was the one from your post that I was most attracted to. And then he posted the review of ochre, and he also posted a review for the Sargasso Sea, which of course now makes me want the Sargasso Sea too. And you posted this, of course, like the day after I made an ink order, and so.
Sorry.
The day after you post this, my inks arrive, and these inks are not. So I have to order more inks. But you know, worse things in life, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you napping, Mr. Gray?
No, I'm here.
Chime in anytime you want.
I don't have anything much to say about Diamine. I've actually never used any Diamine ink, to tell you the truth. We've discussed this. I'm not really much of an ink aficionado because I usually stay with my standards. You know, I don't experiment with inks that often. But this does look nice. I've never used Diamine.
You have to try Diamine, and you probably know a place that sells it too.
I know of a place that gives a lot of samples. I bet you I can get some.
You probably get it. You know, they only have 100 different colors, so you could get 100 different samples.
That's true.
You go for it. You take a picture. Are we going back
What's
to...
that?
You take a picture when you get those 100 samples. Are we going back to Sailor
All right,
again?
I'll do that.
How many times is Sailor going to be?
Sailor.
Well, let's go back to Sailor.
More limited editions. These are made to celebrate the Tokyo Skytree. And, you know, thanks again to Rocky for the translation on these. There's 3 fountain pens that are going to be made, and they're only available from the Skytree store.
Can I interrupt you for a second, Dave?
Yeah.
You said to celebrate the Tokyo Skytree as if we should all know what that is, and I don't.
Well,
neither do I.
Go to our article. There's a link to more information about the Skytree. You can learn all about it there.
Is it a building?
But just yes, it's a communications tower and like kind of building thing. But it has a lot of Japanese culture built into it, and it's very cool actually. If you read that article, it's pretty good read, and it'll contribute a little bit more to why they're making the pins and stuff.
Is it the tower, the one that's depicted on that third pen there?
It is.
Well, it certainly looks like the Eiffel Tower.
No,
okay,
not really.
Well, that's what I thought it was. It's like, oh look, they're putting the Eiffel Tower on their pens.
So there's 3 fountain pens, and they're based on the Sailor Prophet. They're cartridge converter fillers, traditional Sailor 21 karat gold nib. One of the pens is called the Red Fuji. There's the Cherry Blossom Blooms, and then there's another one called the Trust Design. And these, the first 2, the Red Cherry and the Cherry Blossom, they sell for $510, and the Trust Design sells for $382. So not too bad, price-wise, and they're only available in the Skytree store.
And will they, which I assume is in Tokyo?
Correct.
Will they ship to the United States?
I don't know. I didn't ask Rocky.
Rocky probably would have told us, huh?
Yeah.
They do absolutely nothing for me. How about you?
No, not really. But this is the stuff. This is precisely why I do FP Geeks, why I post these articles, because before this, I had absolutely no clue that these, limited production pens were available in Japan. And even though they don't do anything for me, I want to get them out there for everybody, because what if one person, likes it and they get a hold of, the Tokyo Skytree and get one?
I can certainly imagine that other people would like these pens. And yes, we certainly have to cover things that are limited editions in Japan. In fact, we need to go to Japan.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to book that trip.
Many things I do like that are limited edition in Japan and don't even leave Japan. We have to go on a pen safari. You're up, Mr. Gray. What's your wise comment?
I don't have a wise comment. I do
don't
like
you
the
want
Trust
to
design
wag your
out
finger
of...
or something? Oh, nobody can see you. Don't waste it right now.
There's no finger waggling. I like the Trust design out of the best out of the 3, but overall they don't do a lot for me. It's a little bit too specific for me. I don't necessarily want the Skytree on my pen, but
it's like a souvenir pen, isn't it? It's like you go to the Needle or whatever it is in Seattle and come home with one of these $500 pens.
If you're gonna do that, then just make one that you can turn up and down, and then some lady's dress will move up and down. Sorry.
Okay, have another margarita, and we'll move on to Go Pens, one of my favorite places on the planet.
Oh my goodness! I was looking through his latest catalog, or Gary's latest catalog, number 63, and the second tray.
Now, just a minute. You were doing more than just looking through his catalog. You were texting me every 2 minutes saying, "Get online, look at the catalog. Get online." I said, "I don't really want to look because I just don't want to spend the money." He says, "Just get online and look." So I had to join you online. Go ahead.
So the first pen that caught my attention was, of course, the vintage Mont Blanc 149 with the silver cap bands, the skinny cap bands on there, and then of course the Waterman 20. And I was fortunate enough to see two of these in Chicago.
I think one of the. I think this was one of them.
Yeah, it was. It was one of them was at Gary's table. It has a ridiculous number 10 size nib.
Wow.
The overall pen is huge. I mean, it's just, I was actually holding it, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, I was literally speechless.
It really is the Grail pen, isn't it? I mean, if any pen's going to be a Grail pen, this one
monster,
it is
man.
huge.
I mean,
how flexible was the nib?
On Gary's, it wasn't flexible at all.
Okay.
It was actually, I think it was an accountant nib, so it was rigid.
And it's a friction fit cap too, as well, right?
It is. Yeah.
Those are always impressive. You notice that really no modern pen maker attempts those anymore.
Yeah. And so then the next one is the world's smallest pen. This is number 13 in the picture, again, by Waterman. And we didn't see this one, but we did see the tiny Mont Blanc.
Yeah, the 00 Mont Blanc, and I thought that was the world's smallest. But if Gary says this is the world's smallest, then this one must be even smaller.
Well, maybe this is a little controversial because I thought I read an article about 5 years ago about a guy in India that made the world's smallest fountain pen.
All right, we have some homework to do.
I could be wrong. I will have to figure that out. Whatever it is, this is pretty damn tiny.
Yeah. Well, it's so cool to be able to see it right next to the number 20.
You know what? If you take a close look, that pen is smaller than the clip on the Waterman.
I was just going to say that.
And it's almost, what, twice the price? Or 1.5 times the price?
Yeah, I'll get to that in just a second. And so then the last pen, number 17, all the way on the right in the picture.
What is that?
This is a very unique double-nibbed Zerolo. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's Zerollo. And yeah, I mean, this thing is just crazy. It's got a sterling silver overlay. It's just insane.
So it has two what looks like hooded nibs that are facing each other feed to feed. That's what it looks like. How do you use them? Upside down, or do they?
I don't know how.
Is the nib in a retracted position right now?
I think that's what it is.
It looks like maybe it's a double nibbed safety or something.
Yeah, I imagine that's what it is. I have no idea how it works.
It doesn't matter. It's sold, isn't it?
It is, and it's just the coolest, one of the coolest looking fountain pens I've ever seen. So to go through these, the Mont Blanc 149 was $2,200, and it's sold. The Waterman 20 was $2,200, and it has not sold, which surprises me.
Probably because of that nib.
Could be. The world's smallest pen by Waterman is $3,500, and it's sold.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, and then that Zerolo double nibbed pen, $5,000, and it's sold.
Wow!
Gosh.
Well, Gary has beautiful pens. That's talk about eye candy.
Gary has some of the coolest pens I've ever seen.
New catalog, it's every quarter, right? So every 3 months, it's just page after page after page of droolable pens.
And I'm sure that you guys, of course, you guys have met him, but for those that have not, also one heck of a guy.
Extremely. Oh, he's extremely nice.
Yeah, Gary is such a nice guy.
He actually stopped by this post. I don't know how he saw it or found out about it. But he did leave a comment, thanking us for the kind words. Are you kidding me? Thank you, Gary. Because, oh my gosh, I sit down and look at this catalog for, a half hour, 45 minutes, and I'm just drooling all over myself.
Yeah, and, we see him at pen shows. We don't leave him alone. We bother him. I go we just behind his table and sit next to him and say, "Tell me all about your pens." We don't leave him alone.
Oh yeah, we just sit and talk. He's such a nice guy. He's so knowledgeable. I mean,
there was another pen that we posted about this week that I really, really, really like.
What's that?
One of Tom Oddo's pens.
Is it Otto or Oddo? Have I called him the wrong name for a long time now?
We'd have to go back and listen to the Geek of the Week because I went through that with him and I don't remember. I think it's Oddo.
Okay.
It's Oddo. Did I say Oddo?
I've always said Otto,
It's Oddo.
but I could
You
be
are
wrong.
correct. It's Oddo. I was thinking Yoda, so I went with Oddo.
Oh, you're connecting Yoda with Otto, right?
Yeah. Anyway,
I gotcha.
he showed us all his daily carry pens, one of which was a plastic Yoda ballpoint that came from a cereal box that I thought, was just the best pen in the whole bunch.
That's
Perhaps
cool.
the Edison was nicer.
No, I think I'd take the Yoda pen.
Well, it certainly is original. We've been doing this for a few weeks now, and people send us pictures of their daily carry pens along with a list of what they are. And I always mislabel one of the pens and instruct people to let me know, to find it and let me know cleverly in the comments which pen I mislabeled. And I say cleverly so that we don't say it outright so that future visitors can play along. And this week I misidentified an Edison Herald. I called it a Huron. And there were some clever responses to that. Maya stopped by. Maya, of course, knows everything about pens. And her clever comment was, "A light bulb went off in my head." And so that pointed me to the right pen. Andrew stopped by and said, I felt something wasn't ringing true when I read the name. So that pointed me to Edison as well. Darcy said, "I was pleased to see the Edison. It heralds great taste." So that was clever, too. And then KP stopped by. KP, we're laughing with you, not at you. KP stopped by after all of this and said, "Isn't the pen you labeled Edison Huron really a herald? Perhaps I'm confused."
I'm flattered that everybody knows my line that well. I mean, I'll be honest that sometimes I get confused between Herald and Huron and Hudson, and there's too many
there
H's.
Are too many
I think.
H's. In
but,
fact, KP
Yep.
KP did mention perhaps that was her confusion, but no, KP, you were correct.
Yep.
And I don't even try to keep your pen straight. If I want to know what one is, I go look at it.
I was going to call and harass you about that, but I decided to let it go. I did see that.
You are gonna call and harass me.
Yeah.
What's up next?
All right.
Should we talk about something very exciting and
Well, you need to talk about this because you made this incredibly awesome infographic.
oh the TWSBI infographic regarding the demographics of the 202 entries we received for the Micarta giveaway.
Yeah.
To enjoy this, you really have to go to the website, fpgeeks.com, and look for the infographic. Because we got 202 entries, and I just wanted to know, what are people sending? And so it was from 15 countries, 6 continents. One of the things you can see is which country sent in how many entries. Brazil did 1, for instance. Norway did 2. Canada did 14. We got 4 from Spain and 4 from Australia. The United States was the biggie with 167. Which was quite amazing. What I really liked, though, was seeing what inks people were using.
Speaking of that, we have an awesome suggestion in the chat. Jimmy James says to soak the 202 entries and tell us how many were waterproof.
Did Jimmy James not make that comment at the website?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see
he
it.
did.
Oh, he did. I must have missed it.
I'm not sure I can soak them because some... I don't know. When you get 202 letters from people, you have some sort of a connection with all these people. There were letters that were heartfelt. We got one Christmas card from the Philippines.
Really?
Everybody,
Nice.
almost everybody, took a lot of time to send in their entries. The vast majority of them were written with black ink. I shouldn't say vast majority. By a small margin, black seems to be the most popular ink, followed closely by blue, and then green and brown and purple are all right in there at the same percentage. Gray is way down there. I think it was 2% of all entries were written with a gray ink. Cursive versus print. I was very interested in how many people. What is the percentage there?
48 for cursive.
And print was 38. So cursive slightly beats out print, unless you count calligraphic as cursive, but you might count it as print. I don't know. So it was interesting.
It was a very cool infographic. We definitely
you
have
did a
to
great
see
job
more of
on
these.
I do recommend that you stop by and take a look at it, because it's just, how often do you get 202 letters from people? And this.
What's the country down at the tip of South Africa? I can't remember that you got one entry from.
The tip of South Africa? That is South Africa.
The southern tip of South Africa. Well, but what? Well, I'm sorry. That's the continent. What's the country?
That country
came from?
is called South Africa. The continent is called Africa.
There you go.
Have another drink.
I will.
All right, so where to next? Mailbag?
No, I think we were talking about the Micarta, and how many people are watching right now? Do we have 202 people watching?
We've got 51 current
51 viewers. They're all here to see who's going to win this Micarta pen, don't you think?
Yep.
I don't know.
You're going to draw it right
I
now?
think we should. Or what do you?
I think it's
Should we
great.
wait? Ask the audience. Should we wait?
Yeah, do you guys want to wait or do you guys want to do it now? Now. Wait.
We're going
Yes.
to do it now. I'm ready.
Do it now.
I've got all the entries right here, and I've got them all numbered. So, Dan, I need you to go to random.org and,
All right.
and pull us a winning number.
All right,
And you know, I assume you know how to use random.org.
Yep, we do minimum
Minimum should be
We got
1.
We got max 202.
202.
202. I'm gonna hit generate in 3, 2, 1.
And the winning number is
172.
172. 172. Okay, I'm looking.
You got to count all that high to get to the card?
No,
That
I
is,
have marked
not-
them. I have marked the cards in increments of 10.
It's not Brianna, is it? I wouldn't mind having a Micarta.
Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly who it is, but I will tell you. How should I break the news? Did you say 172?
172.
All right. 172 is an entry from someone in the United States. So
Why don't you
Okay.
have a first, how about a first name and then a last initial? Would that be okay?
um,
How about initials?
the first initial is C, and the last the initial of the last name is A. 172. I'm going to try to find it. You talk amongst yourselves.
All right.
Brian, you do look really relaxed this show.
Well, people probably don't realize that I'm down in my basement because my internet connection was spotty through my Wi-Fi router, so I'm hardwired, and I'm sitting on one of those. Like back in college, you had beanbag chairs and you had those circular bamboo chairs.
Oh, yeah.
This is,
yeah.
This is one of those circular bamboo chairs that's shaped like a dome.
Oh,
So
those
I'm
are
just
so comfortable.
yeah, I know. This is a leftover from college.
Okay. Shall I just announce the name?
Yeah, let's hear it.
The winner for the TWSBI Micarta is Chris Anderson from New Albany, Indiana.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Congratulations,
I have, the
Chris.
only contact information I have is a mailing address and a phone number. Chris, I'm going to have to call you to ask about what kind of grind you want because Greg Manuskin has offered to put a special grind on the pen, but I don't know which one you want. So I'll probably call Chris. Indiana.
That's
What
awesome.
time zone would Indiana be? Oh, we know that.
Hour
Just
ahead
an hour behind me. So it would be
an hour ahead of me.
7:48 there.
Well, Dan's an hour behind. There's no hour between you two, so
Oh,
but
okay.
Well,
I'll figure it
sometimes
out
it depends-
myself.
It depends on the time of year, though.
Oh, that's right. They don't
All right.
participate. They're one of the few
Yeah.
smart states that does not participate in daylight savings time.
So I believe they're an hour behind me right now, which puts them at 7:49, I think, but I'm not positive.
Right. Well, I'll call tomorrow, and we'll get that pen to you as quickly as we can. Christian is it signed here.
Very cool.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
And I think the turnout was great. We'll have to do something for this month. Hey, Mr. Gray, do you remember at the beginning of this show when I was buttering you up with the compliments on Writing Instrument Daily?
Yes.
Do you think
You're
I'm
gonna
put
make
you
me
on the-
angry
I'm
and then get rid of all that now?
No, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Go right
What do you
ahead.
say we give away an Edison pen for this month, the write-in type drawing?
What do you guys think?
No, we're asking you. You know what the community would think.
You know what my answer is. Of course I would do that for you
All
guys.
right. So what kind of pen?
You decide. Maybe take a poll. Whatever you guys want to do.
Oh, no, that's it has to be one of your signature lines, obviously, or product.
Yeah,
and
I think.
what's the most popular one?
Oh, probably the Pearlette, maybe one of those two. Someone's saying Yarushi. We'll get right on that.
See,
Donation.
this is why we're not going to take a poll. I say Pearl.
It can't be a tremendous liability.
We're going to do a Pearl. I'll just announce it right now. It'll hit the website tomorrow. We'll do a Pearl giveaway for the write-in. I think the write-in was a great success, and I think people really do like to write. And this is a good reason to use your fountain pens. And Mr. Gray, thank you very much. I put you on the spot right there, and you came through. Whew. Thank goodness he had two margaritas.
We're getting a lot of yeah. You picked your moment, didn't you? You buttered me up when I was half drunk, right? You can have 5 pens, man. You want 20, 12? I'll mail them off tomorrow. This is being recorded,
you know.
Well, for those that are just tuning in, I'm not drunk. There was a joke because I had 2 margaritas.
Don't
with
all
dinner.
drunks say I'm not drunk?
Even though Eric keeps harping on it, that's okay. No problem at all.
So, any audience feedback? Because I'm going with Pearl.
They're going crazy.
Collier, Mina. Honestly, Eric, we don't need to decide right now. Maybe if you want to, like I said, it's a suggestion. Put up a poll and then just see what's. I wouldn't mind seeing what people think is the most popular, anyways. And the other thing is, I really don't think that a non-signature line pen would be out of the question as long as it's not an identical material as to what I already. Sell through the retailers.
You and I will work all this out tomorrow morning.
Okay.
How's that sound? And then it will hit the website. And but people don't mail anything tomorrow because I'm going to make you put a special word somewhere in your entry. I don't know what the word is yet, but we're going to have probably 10 or 20 entries for the Micarta still arrive. And so I don't want to get those mixed up because you have to send a new one if you want to get in on the new drawing. So full details will be coming out tomorrow, but you're the first to hear it if you're listening to this live broadcast. And so we can move on now. I think this is very exciting. We got to get this show over so I can make all these plans.
So how many pens did I just commit to? 12, 15, 20?
You committed to 1 pen.
31.
Darn, it's all recorded. Where are we going now, Mr. Smith?
Ryan, I swear, you must have been so drunk. You said you would do a limited edition of 100 for us.
I think we need to jump into the mailbag for a little bit.
All right, as far as snail mail, the only thing we've been getting is for the TWSBI Micarta giveaway, and we just covered that. I think we have some email, though. I think it was mostly
by
for
the way, before we go on to this, I want to thank you guys because I know that the Micarta obviously came out of someone's pocket, and I think on behalf of
TWSBI donated this one.
TWSBI donated.
Yes.
Okay, I apologize. I assumed that maybe one of you guys or both of you guys split the cost. Either way, even though you did not do that, very generous of you guys. Nice to put that together. So thank you on behalf of myself and all your fans for doing the Micarta thing. That was very cool.
It was a good idea. I'm very, very happy with the results. I think I was telling Dan. What you remind me, Dan? How many entries was I hoping to get at one point?
I think like 50 or 60,
something like that. Something I just hope we get at least 50 or something.
I mean, we just had to put this out on the internet, and I knew we were going to get at least 100. I mean, I was a little shocked at 202. I was like, hey, that's pretty awesome. But
let's see how many we get for an Edison.
Okay, that's going to be crazy.
Game on. But anyway, back to email.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe we should have a pen for how many numbers of entries. So if there's 400 entries, there could be more than 1 pen.
Oh, very, very nice and generous and good idea there, Mr. Gray.
We'll hash it out.
Like I say, we better talk about this. Probably not while we're recording a podcast.
We'll be committed to way too much.
All right, this will be the after show. We'll all have something to drink, and we'll talk about the details. And just leave the show on the air. It'll be fine.
But do check the website tomorrow. If you don't follow us on Twitter, so that you'll get all the details. Because we'll work this out by tomorrow. Because I want worldwide audience again to have time to send in all of their entries. All right,
cool.
So you've got
Yes. Someone just said, Brian, I'll buy you a margarita. Keep the generosity flowing, right?
Heck yeah. So Mr. J wrote in, and he asked me a question about my Shaffer snorkels.
The ones from your daily carry pens?
Yes, he said specifically the Valiant with the S5 stub and the Admiral with the broad semi-flex nib in it. And he goes, how did you acquire these 2 pens? I don't think Shaffer made stub nibs nor any broad with flex. Do I need to send a pen to a nibmeister to get these kind of nibs? No, these actually were factory Shaffer nibs, and they have the Shaffer codes on them. And there's a website, penhero.com. He goes into specifics about these pen codes. They have stamped on or I don't know, kind of like engraved on the nib. An A for accountant, X for extra fine, M for medium, things like that. And S was the stub designation. And the 5 denotes, the 14 karat two-toned palladium masked Triumph nib. And I'll post this link in the post or the show notes for this, but there's a lot of good information about that. So these were factory pins. They're very uncommon, and that's why I'm so attracted to them. I wanted a Shaffer with a stub and a Shaffer with a flex nib for a long time. And how did I acquire these? Well, I've got a source who lets me know when he comes across these odd nib Shaffers, and he lets me know if I would like to purchase it.
Mysterious about this.
And well, hey, I'm not giving this information out. I mean, there's a reason why I keep it secret, because I want these pins. And so he responded to me, and he said, "Thank you for the information." He goes, "Consider it a fight to the finish of whom can collect the weirdest Shaffers." Challenge accepted, my friends. And he also said, I have very similar taste to yours, and I'd like your opinion on a Franklin Christoph. He says, since they sell nibs worked on by Mike Masuyama, are the steel nibs worth it, or should I spend them more for gold? I'm thinking of getting a cursive italic and a stub nib for a Model 2 or 65. I would say go for the steel. I mean, the money you're saving by not getting the gold nib, you could almost, that'd pay for at least half or 3/4 of another pin. So unless you absolutely have to have gold, just go with the steel. Get the Mike Masuyama, tuned nib. It'll write just as good as the gold one. I promise you.
I agree. Go.
Yeah, I wrote an article. I wrote an article. It's exactly along the lines of that. That's on my website. The title is "In Praise of Steel Nibs," and it really boils down to literally every week I'll have a conversation on the phone with a client that wants to know, should I spend the extra $100 on a gold nib? And my answer is always the same. Especially for someone that really hasn't used a gold nib before, a lot of times they feel that this is going to be like a magical addition to the pen. And truly, I think that unless you need a little bit of flex, I think a good tuned steel nib for me has the exact same appeal as what a gold nib does. So, anyways, if you want to get much more in depth on that, there is an article on my website. But I always tell my customers, try steel first, and if you don't like it, you can upgrade to gold anytime, and I'll even give you credit for the steel nib. And I would say that 97% of the time, I never hear anything negative about that, and there's never okay, but let's move up to gold. I think it'll be better. Everyone is usually impressed with the steel nibs.
Right, and just because it's a gold nib, it might not necessarily have any flex built into it, because I've used gold nibs that are just as hard as steel nibs. I mean, if you put a blindfold on me, I probably couldn't tell the difference between the two.
No, but I could tell you a difference between a nib that has not been tuned by Mike and one that has.
Oh, absolutely.
So a steel nib that has been tuned by Mike, just go for it. In fact, get to it.
Yeah.
Get 2 of the Franklin Christoph pens and make sure both of the nibs are done by Mike, and you will not regret it.
Yeah, they're
Agreed.
incredible pens. So, has anybody bought anything new this week?
I got ink. I got
ink too.
The one ink that I'll mention that's very interesting is my new favorite ink this week. It's Private Reserve Avocado.
Oh,
and
very
this
nice.
is a reasonable, very, very reasonable facsimile of Mont Blanc British Racing Green, and I'm liking it very, very much. Although,
and what pen did you buy this for?
I bought it for a pen that already has ink in it, so I've only used it with my dip pen.
Okay.
And do you have any Private Reserve inks, Mr. Smith?
Yes, I have a bottle of Dakota Red, which is
do they come in
my
this
favorite
straight
red.
up and down bottle? Because the pictures online that I see are like flat little round bottles with
Mine is different than that.
this might be their new bottle. I don't know. It's very easy to get your pens in and out of, especially if you're using a dip pen. But boy, when you take this cap off, you are looking at an ocean of ink that is just ready to slosh around. So I don't know that I like it yet. But yes, I got that, and I got my 2 Sailor pens, the ones that you made me buy because you posted that. And that's all I think I got this week. No, I got the Vanishing Point too, but we won't mention that. Let's go on.
I bought some J. Urban calligraphy ink. It's the pearlescent ink. It has orange, yellow, blue, pink, and green in it, and I bought these to use with my Maybe Todd dip pen, and I cracked open the blue last night, and they're fantastic.
And how's the pen?
Oh, the pen is amazing. I love it. I'm so happy I bought it.
Yeah, I don't know if you know that, Mr. Gray. We had Greg Manuskin on 2 weeks ago, I think, and
I was aware.
Right after the show, we started talking pens, and he was showing us what he has that's going to hit his website for sale, and we bought two. I bought a dip pen. And
oh my god!
We were buying things after the podcast.
It's good to have friends in high places, huh?
I guess.
Yeah.
That's all right. I shouldn't talk. That's how I got Andrea's pen from Greg, too. I just called him up and said, hey, what do you have that's really cool, man? What can you send me? He said, I got something for you. Here.
Did you get anything new this week, Mr. Gray?
I got about 20 meters of phenomenal ebonite. I got some really cool acrylics. So, pen materials. How's that?
Pen materials. Well, that is cool.
Yep.
You didn't do any trading. You don't have any new pens that you traded for?
No, I have my TWSBI VAC right here that I'm liking a lot,
very
and I'm
nice.
still. Yep, and actually, I know Dan, you had a good suggestion on how to completely fill it, and I also saw a similar thing up on Goulet's website, and so I was kind of playing around with it earlier today to get a full fill. So that's kind of cool.
You don't really need a full fill,
like
you know. I mean,
hey,
yeah.
I need to get every last drop of ink in this thing. You know what it is? It's just fun.
Do you remember that I put a Visconti 1.3 stub at one time on one of your Edison pens?
Yes.
Well, I took it out of that, of course, and I put it on the VAC 700.
Oh, really?
It works like a dream. It is
that.
a paintbrush. Boy, now I really know what they mean when they say paintbrush. It's just beautiful, though. Beautiful. I really love it.
Well, didn't that Visconti have feed compatibility issues on the Edison anyways?
Yes,
Wasn't it kind of spotty?
It was always a hard starter. Once it
Yeah.
got going,
Is it
it was
working
fine. And
better
now
on the VAC?
it seems to very much enjoy its position on the VAC 700. So I think we talked about it last week. The nib is like twice as expensive as the pen itself. So I'm the only person on the planet with a $250 VAC 700.
Well, think about this. You know that TWSBI is using Bach feeds, and Visconti, Bach makes the setups for Visconti as well. So maybe that's why it's working well. You know, honestly, that could be it.
Well, I think
it's just the quality control of Edison.
That could.
He's giving us a pen, Dan. Come on now.
It's
Come
that
on now.
damn nib guy that keeps working on those Edison nibs, man.
Should we give
Yeah,
some?
you need to tell Andrew to do a better job on those nibs.
Yes, Andrew.
Yeah.
Good thing we got the picture of him tuning a nib. Okay.
So is it time to
I
give
don't know. Is there
away
anybody
yet?
in the audience, or did they all leave when they found they didn't?
No, we still got 40
By the way,
people.
I'm sorry, Eric. Eric, let me interrupt. How wide is that Visconti? 1.1, I think.
1.3.
You got to try out. I do have some nibs that are 2.3 now.
What do you do with those?
That-
2.3?
I mean, what do you do with those?
You can paint your living
I
room
guess you
with
can.
with Private Reserve American Blue. They're really cool, but they literally are paintbrushes. You have to have huge handwriting to use them, and they go on they're little number 5s. So actually, Dan, I think I'm sending you an encore soon. If you want one, I'll get you outfitted. But they're ridiculous. They're actually.
I'll take
think
the
they're-
1.5.
I did when I got them. I did a just like a interesting test. I took one and ground it to a crisp italic, like crisp, and it's amazing. It's like a hairline going in the side stroke, and then this, going straight down. It's like the biggest nib I've seen. Like I can't imagine any more line variation from a nib.
Yeah, it's pretty wicked.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
you'd be using that for cursive.
No.
You have to. Well, I can, but you have to take up like 4 lines.
4 lines for cursive.
in order. Yeah.
You know those signs that people hold up at football games and stuff? That's the pen that they use to write those
We
with.
need a pen with this nib on it for the next pen show we go to, because we go around asking people for their autographs. Hand them that pen.
They would look at that and just be like, what am I supposed to do with this?
All right, if there are people in the audience, why don't we play the Geek Challenge?
Yeah,
Let me
absolutely.
see if I have anything that we should give away some ink, since Diamine came out with the new colors this week.
Yes.
Let's give away some of that ink. Why don't we say that the winner, if we have a winner of today's Geek Challenge, will win 1 bottle of the Diamine. Don't call me yet, people. Please don't call.
You have to change the number every week.
You are.
You have to get a new Verizon account every week, or else I'm going to be bugging you.
I appreciate that you're anxious, but please call after I say call, because everybody else has to have an equal chance. For all I know, you're the only person who wants to play, and I'll talk to you. Anyway, how about a bottle of the Diamine ink in any of the new colors? What were they? Grape, ochre, peach haze, and
Sargasso Sea
and Misty Blue. So there are 5 new colors. The Geek Challenge. We need a caller. I have 3 questions. My number is 909-647-5056. Call now.
It's like you forgot what your phone number. My number is.
I was waiting.
909.
I was making sure my phone wasn't ringing as I was saying it.
Hey, while we're waiting on Eric, Dan, king of pronunciation, is it okra? Is it okra or
It's
ochre?
ochre.
Because
ochre.
okra is all right. Because okra is a food. What is ochre?
Hello? I'm trying to get you on the
O-C-H-R-E.
phone. Can you hear me?
I don't know exactly what ochre
This is Eric.
is.
Who's this?
I don't know.
I'm going to check my
Brandon,
friend
how
Google.
are you?
Okay.
Let me get you on the air, okay? We have Brandon on the phone.
Hey, Brandon.
I'm not sure Brandon can hear you. In fact, I hope Brandon has turned down his sound on his computer. Hello, Brandon. Are you ready to play the Geek Challenge? Do you know how it works?
I do.
All right, then I've got 3 true or false questions, and here they're not even questions, they're statements. Here's the first one. True or false? Diamine inks are actually made by the J. Urbon Ink Company.
False.
False. Didn't even need any help. I think that's false. I couldn't find any evidence to the contrary, so I'm going to have to say that's false. Here's the next
Good
one.
thing he doesn't need any help, because I don't think I've ever really aided anyone at all when I've done this for you guys. So that's all
Well,
right.
but we keep you around anyway, because once in a while you toss us a pen. Okay, statement number 2, true or false? The 4 main classes of inks are aqueous, liquid, paste, and powder. You can ask for help on this. The audience will be happy to help you.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think I need Mr. Gray.
Mr. Gray, he's asking for you.
Oh, dude, I'm no help to you on this one.
It's ink. Oh, yeah, he's not an ink person.
Exactly. Okay, I'm going to guess true, but keep in mind that no one ever actually gets these wrong in the end. I think it's true.
He says he thinks it's true. Brandon, you don't have to Google it. Just give us your answer.
No, I actually think it might be false.
Okay, I would go with Mr. Gray on this one.
Oh.
True then.
It's very true. Yes, according to my research, these are the 4 types of ink: aqueous, liquid, paste, and powder. All of us are using basically the aqueous version, which is also liquid, of course, but it's got water. Paste is an interesting one. It was necessitated by the printing press, Mr. Gutenberg, because the inks they had at the time didn't do a good job, so they needed something a little thicker. So we can move on to the big question, the one for all of it. Here's the bottle of ink. It's not a question. I keep saying it's a question. It's just a statement. True or false? Most historians agree that Cleopatra was reaching for a clay ink pot when she startled the snake that bit and killed her, also known as an asp.
With that, can I ask for help again?
He's asking for help again.
I'm just going to throw out true.
Mr. Gray says he's throwing out true. What does Dan say? He's Googling. Stop that.
No, I'm actually reading the question because I was chatting.
You didn't hear the question?
No, I was chatting. I told you that. I'm going to go
Someone in the chat
false.
is saying false. I thought she committed suicide.
Oh,
if
that
that's
sounds
helpful.
very good.
Because I really don't know. I'm going to say false, just based on that.
So Mr. Gray has changed his answer. Okay, Brandon, what do you say? What do you think?
I guess I'll go with false.
It is false. She may or may not have been reaching for that, but most historians agree that she was committing suicide. She made the snake bite her. So we have a winner. What color ink would you like? Do you know? You don't have to decide right this second, but if you have a favorite, we'll just get that written down right now.
Can I email it to you?
You can email it to me. Email that and your address. I know I have your address, but just to verify, email that, and I'll get that out to you right away. And then, of course, next week we'll let everybody know which color you chose because they'll all want to follow suit. Thank you very much, Brendan. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. Dead air.
That's all right. I just can't believe how hard these damn questions are getting, Eric. Jeez.
Hard? What was hard about this? I have to have a historical question. Ever since Ben Franklin was true. Okay, moving on. I think we're to the point where I tell people how to contact us. But before I do that, I have to make a special announcement regarding next week's Fountain Pen Radio because...
Yeah, this is going to be awesome.
It's coming to you at a special time and a special day and special time next week. It will be on Saturday, June 9th at 8 a.m. Pacific. That's 8, 9, 10, 11 Eastern. And we are doing it at this special time because our special guest lives in Holland.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
And it is none other than SBRE Brown of immense YouTube fame. Famous for his YouTube fountain pen reviews. He's got 120 videos. I think all but 3 of them are fountain pen review-ish type videos. The S in SBRE Brown is Stephen. Dan and I spent a very pleasant hour on the phone with Stephen yesterday.
That dude is so cool.
And he was a lot of fun. He's going to. It promises to be a lot of fun in next week's FP Radio. He's a tremendous, and I don't use that word lightly, tremendous fountain pen geek. He is eclectic. He's articulate. He's entertaining even without margaritas. He enjoys receiving marriage proposals via YouTube. Did I mention that I didn't mention this. I'll mention that he's working on his PhD, and per Dan's suggestion and in homage to Back to the Future, we have taken to calling him Doc Brown. So Join us next week, 8 a.m. Pacific, Saturday, June 9th, when our special guest will be Doc Brown. You may know him as SBRE Brown from YouTube. I don't know, Brian, do you know of him? Have you ever?
Eric, what the hell would you know about Back to the Future? I thought you never saw the movie.
I saw that movie in the theater.
But
he can't remember a thing about it.
You missed the 88-mile-per-hour reference. You've missed Pulp Fiction references.
Well, I've never seen Pulp Fiction. I freely admit I've never seen Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that's right. We had an assignment when you were here, didn't we? We didn't watch the movie.
Didn't watch the movie. You said you were going to let me.
Brian, it's hilarious because the last night that I was there, I went back to my hotel and I flipped the TV on, and Pulp Fiction had actually just started.
No way! On a cable network?
Yeah. And it was a movie channel.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, so I spent the next 2, I got to the hotel 12 or 12:30 that night, and I spent the next 2 hours watching Pulp Fiction. So
that's cool.
So you all have seen it at least twice. I've never seen it, and I still have. I'm still working on that.
You know what? And I swear, I thought that it was streamable on Netflix, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was at one point, and now it isn't anymore.
Well, I mean, it wasn't the last time we talked about it because you gave me the homework assignment of watching it, and then that's where I went. I went to Netflix, and it wasn't there. I think I have to check Amazon, though. I could stream it from there, too, if I really wanted to.
I'm just going to mail it to you.
Just mail it to me. I'll watch it, I promise. I don't think we have anything else, but you think if we see if anybody has a question in the audience while I read out our contact information, you can reach us via email, podcast@fpgeeks.com. You can call us, 415-685-GEEK. That's 415-685-4335. We are on Twitter, twitter.com/fpgeeks. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/fpgeeks. We have a website, fpgeeks.com. We have a forum, fpgeeks.com/forum. And we'd love to see you and hear from you. Any questions from the audience?
A lot of people want to know what's going on with our Camp Edison pins.
We have to tell them about that. Brian, why don't we have you on again at the end of this month? We'll see how our new write-in drawing is going. And between now and then, we'll plan on how we will present whatever information we can present from Camp Edison. How's that sound?
That would be great.
Because if we did it right now, we're way over time, and we would have to wing it.
Right.
Which we don't want to do.
And I don't know if we have any good photos, do we? It would just be webcam stuff.
Yeah, we'll plan it out. And next week is Doc Brown, and the week after that is Greg Manuskin. That'll be also a Saturday because the Sunday is Father's Day. And then the last day of this month, you've already signed up for that day, haven't you, Mr. Gray?
I'm there.
All right. So,
and someone's asking if Doc Brown is going to be a Geek of the Week as well as a special guest. I think we have to have him as a Geek of the Week.
You know, he would just take the cake in that category, wouldn't he? I mean, after just
he would.
Wait till you see the picture, because I asked him to send a picture, because I want to put his picture in the. I'm going to post tomorrow about the next FP radio, so people have a chance to figure out it's going to be Saturday morning. And I asked him for a picture, and you will not believe, Dan. Maybe you will because you spent an hour on the phone with him. What he pulled out of some drawer at his place to put on his head. It's just like it was waiting there, waiting for me to say, "Can you send me a picture?"
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's a fountain pen geek. He puts us to shame.
Yeah, he does. I mean, the dude is awesome. It's going to be so much fun.
He's fun. Anything else?
I'll look forward to it. What's the time again of that? I know I'll see it on your website, but you said it's an earlier morning.
Saturday, June 9th at 8 a.m. Pacific, which would be 8, 9, 10 a.m. Dan's time, 11 a.m. Saturday for you, Mr. Gray. And please be in the audience.
I will.
And we do have one more question. They want to know what you're going to do with the rest of the Micarta entries.
That has gone through my head, of course, and I think what I have to do is send them to you, Dan. You have to read every single one of these.
All right.
Many of them are heartfelt letters, wonderful, and almost, I'm going to have to say, 98% say, "Thank you for doing such a great job at FP Geeks." And so you read these letters, you really feel good about what you're doing. So you have to share in this. So what we'll do with them after you have read them, I'm not sure. You should probably go on some wall somewhere.
I was going to say, if you don't mind, I'll just plaster them up on my wall right next to my inks.
There are lots. Yeah, you'll probably need 2 walls.
All right.
Honestly, you guys should do that. I mean, obviously, hang on to them. I get a lot of fan mail as well. I've got an entire. Well, you guys saw my bulletin board is full of those, and I'm running out of room right now. Definitely hang on to them. They're very, very cool. And I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of everybody. Thank you for holding that contest, and thank you to TWSBI for the donation. Very cool of both of you guys and TWSBI.
And thank you to you for volunteering for the next one.
Yeah,
we're not there. Sure. We're not there yet. Tomorrow, I'm going to wake up and go, "What the hell did I promise?"
This is broadcast live. You think you're getting fan mail? Wait till you renege on this. All right. I'm not watching the audience. I can't see if anybody's asking anything. But if there's been,
nope.
Okay,
we're good to go.
And I thank you both for joining me. Thank you to the audience. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific.
All right.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
You've been listening to Eric and Dan on Fountain Pen Radio, a weekly podcast produced by FPGeeks.com. Thanks for listening. But the fun is far from over, as the site is constantly buzzing with new content. So until next week, thanks for coming out. Good night.